Hi, hello everyone, and welcome to Warren's Team Talk. I hope that you're all well and having a great day, and looking forward to this afternoon's 3 o'clock kickoffs. And I'm sure it's going to be absolutely wild. There's some great games coming up, kicking off at 3 o'clock. And in a minute, I'm going to take you around the ground so we can see what the lineups are for these games and everything else. But yeah, like I say, I hope that you're all well and having a great day, and all your loved ones are healthy and happy, and all the rest of it. So, but before we get started, can I please ask you to hit the like button, and also if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel, and also please share the content around to as many different people as you possibly can. That would be absolutely fantastic. And if you're watching this on playback, please put a comment in the comment section of the video, telling me what you thought about today's games that we're covering. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Let's go and have a look at the games that have taken place today. We've got Liverpool against Aston Villa at Anfield. We've got Chelsea against Leeds United at Stamford Bridge. And we've also got Arsenal against Southampton at the Emirates Stadium. So, firstly, let's go and have a look at the games and see what the lineups are. So, first of all, let's go up to Anfield and see what's going on up at Anfield. So, let's see what the lineup is for Liverpool. The lineups are for Liverpool's game with Aston Villa. So Liverpool have gone for a 4-3-3 formation. They've got Alisson in goal. They've gone with a back four of Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Matip and Robertson in their back four. The midfield three is Henderson, Fabinho and Thiago Alcantara. Sorry about the pronunciations. My pronunciations are atrocious, aren't they? They really are. And then up front, they've gone with a front three of Salah, Mane and Oxlade-Chamberlain, which I find a bit weird, actually. I'm not really sure about that. I'm not sure that is a 4-3-3. To me, that looks like a 4-4-2. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. To me, I'd probably say that Oxlade-Chamberlain is playing in midfield because he's not really a forward player, is he? So, but anyway, what do I know? But Liverpool's bench has got Konate on it, Milner, Ketia, Gomez, Minamino, Jota, Timasikas, Kelleher, and N. Williams. Now, I'm not really sure who that Williams character is, but anyway, so maybe if someone in there who's watching can put a comment in the chat and let me know who he is, because I've never even heard of him. Aston Villa, they're gone for a 4-3-3 as well. Now, this game as well, if you've been living under a rock, is Steven Gerrard's first game back at Anfield since he retired from playing football. He's bringing Aston Villa there. He's Aston Villa's manager, obviously. And he's gone for a 4-3-3. He's gone for Martinez in goal, a back four of Cash, Konsa, Mings, and Target. And then in midfield, three of McGinn, Nakambia, Douglas Luiz. And then up front, he's gone with Ramsey, Watkins, and Young. And then on Villa's substitute bench, he's gone with Sansom, Buendia, Steer, Twanzebe, Trezeguet, Ings, El Ghazi, Jose, and Chukwuemeka. And the referee today is Stuart Atwell. So, yeah, there you go. There you have it. I said earlier in the week I thought Liverpool would win this game by 3-1, and I still think that. But yeah, so there we go. So let's now make our way to Stamford Bridge and see what the lineup is there. So, but before I do that, James Dunlop is in the chat. James says, "Hi Warren, heard Aubameyang has been dropped for disciplinary issues." Oh my good God. Yeah, it's not looking good, mate, is it? It's all getting a bit messy, really. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't come to a very sticky end before long. Something's going to have to happen because it can't go on like this. Liverpool fans will find weird seeing Gerrard in the away dugout. Yeah, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? What sort of reception do you think he'll get? Because I know a few Liverpool fans can't absolutely hate him. They can't stand him. They just think he's an arrogant little prick, to be quite honest. But yeah, I don't know. Find it weird, I mean. Yeah, no, I think it'd be weird as well. It'd be like when Patrick Vieira came back to the Emirates. That was really weird for me to see him stood in the opposition dugout and seeing Mikel Arteta in our dugout. I just found it really upsetting, to be quite frank. So yeah, I don't know what they're going to think of it. James says, "I'm sure Gerrard will get a great reception at Anfield." Yeah, well, for his sake, I hope he does. But like I say, I know a couple of Liverpool fans and they can't stand him. So I don't know. I mean, I know one of them's a massive Celtic fan as well, so that might have something to do with it. And James Dunlop says, "I absolutely hated him, but he was a superb player, mate." I don't know about you. I had a similar feeling about him, but I recognised that he was a quality player, and I always felt like when they were discussing about who should be England's captain, I think he was head and shoulders the best candidate at the time that he was playing for England. The way he used to inspire his teammates and so on and so forth, much better candidate than, say, Frank Lampard ever was, or that clown that used to play at centre-back from Chelsea, John Terry. I can't stand John Terry. I just think he's a prick. But still, there you go. So let's go. Let's go and see what is going on at Stamford Bridge. So let's see the Chelsea lineup and the Leeds lineup. So Chelsea have gone for a 3-4-3. They've gone with Mendy in goal, a back three of Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva and Rudiger. And then in midfield, they've gone with James, Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho and Alonso. Then up front, they're going with Werner, Havertz and Mount. And on their bench, they've gone with Arrizabalaga. God, these names, mate, honestly. They're a nightmare. Christensen, Lukaku, Pulisic, Saul, Barkley, Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech and Sarr. Leeds have gone for a 4-1-4-1. They've gone with Messler in goal, Shackleton, Ayling, Loriente and Firpo in a back four. And in the midfield, they've gone with Forshaw, Rafinha, Dallas, Roberts and Harrison. And up front, they're going with James. Now, their bench consists of Klassen, Gerhardt. Is it Gerhardt? Yeah, Gelhardt, sorry. Cresswell, Drammer, Somerville, McKinstry, Klitsch, McCarron, and Jenkins. So yeah, that's the Chelsea and Leeds lineup. So this game, I think, should be, from my perspective, my opinion, I think Chelsea will probably win this one. Unfortunately, I think they'll win it quite comfortably, to be honest. But you never really know, really, because Leeds seem to be quite a dogged outfit. So, particularly as well with the way that Chelsea seem to be struggling to break people down recently. I don't know. It's difficult, really. So we'll see. Now, last game of the day. We're going to go down to the Emirates and see what's happening at the Emirates Stadium. So let's get that one up. And the Arsenal lineup, they've gone for a 4-4-1-1. Ramsdale in goal, Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel, and Tierney, and then a midfield five, I should say, of Saka, Partey, Xhaka, and Martinelli, and Odegaard just behind Lacazette, who's up front in a lone striking role. And then on the bench, he's gone with Smith Rowe, Maitland-Niles, Holding, Cedric Suarez, Pepe, Savage, Sambi Lokonga, Nketiah, and Okonkwo. And Southampton, they've gone with a 4-4-2 formation. They've gone with Caballero, who they managed to get out of the local Derby and Joan club. They've gone with a back four of Livramento, Stevens, Bednarek, Walker-Peters in a back four, Redmond, Diallo, Ward-Prowse, Teller in a midfield four, and then up front they've gone with Brocha and Armstrong. Now that Brocha, I think he's a bit of a handful. I saw him last week and I was quite impressed with him. I thought he looked a really good prospect. He's quite young, I think. So yeah, he looks a really, really good player. And I believe that Southampton have got him on loan from Chelsea. So yeah, he looks like he could be one for the future, definitely. Now the substitute bench for Southampton is Lianco, Long, Perraud, Nepo, Smallbone, Elianusi, Walcott, Lewis, and Valerie, and the referee today is James Gillett. So yeah, that's the Arsenal starting lineup, and Granit Xhaka gets back in the team. Tierney keeps his place. Odegaard's in there yet again. Martinelli is in the team, so that's good to see. But I've got question marks about that lineup. I really have. I'm concerned about Ben White. I thought at the beginning of the season he looked very, very shaky. I really did, and nothing I've seen makes me believe that I was wrong in my initial assessment. I started to have thoughts to myself that maybe I'd got it wrong with him, that maybe he was all right, but I'm not convinced, to be honest. Granit Xhaka, I mean, how he still manages to get in this team is beyond me. I've heard people saying, yeah, but he's the best of a bad bunch. I couldn't give a shit. Get him out. I don't want people like that in an Arsenal 11. I'm sorry, I'd rather see a youngster like someone like Sambi, even if he was to make mistakes and stuff like that. I'd rather see him in there learning his trade and doing his thing rather than Granit Xhaka. At some point with him, you always know he's going to make a really stupid mistake, either get sent off, give away a penalty, give away a stupid free kick that leads to a goal, or misplace a pass that leads to a goal. Case in point, as I said last week, was that game at Burnley last season when he played the ball across the Burnley penalty area at Turf Moor. He didn't even look where he was playing the ball, and it went straight to the opposition striker, who put the ball in the back of the net. Absolutely fundamental error. I remember when I was at school, when I was about 8 or 9, right? We had games, it was called then, when we played football, and we used to do it on I think it was a Friday afternoon. And I remember the games teacher saying to us, whatever you do, lads, if you're playing in defence or anywhere on the pitch and you're near the defence, do not, I repeat, do not pass the ball across your own penalty area. You do not do it. It's like you're likely to cause trouble for your team if you do that. And I still remember it to this day. And I saw standing there, and I remember thinking as an 8, 9-year-old, thinking, yeah, he's got a point. It's not a good idea. And when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a centre back. All right. And I remember going to watch Arsenal with my dad, and I used to watch David O'Leary playing football, right, when he was playing for Arsenal. I used to see the way that he's taught Willie Young, the other Arsenal centre-back. He used to talk him through games. And I never once saw David O'Leary playing the ball across his own penalty area. Never happened. Never, ever happened. And then you've got this clown. I'm sorry, but he ain't good enough. It needs to get him out. Odegaard, weak, spineless. Yeah, he scored a goal in the last 2 games. But he's not good enough. He doesn't create. Every time he gets the ball, 9 times out of 10, he passes it backwards. But I'm not 100% convinced it's all him. As I've said before, I don't feel it's the players that are causing the problem at Arsenal. I think it's the coaching, the tactics, the man management. That's what I think it is. And I'd like to see how these players perform with a proper manager. I really would, because I think a lot of them would do better. And I still go back to the thing, you have to look, people going on about Aubameyang and about him not doing this and doing that. And yeah, I think he's probably gone past his sell-by date and he's past his best. But the thing that keeps nagging in the back of my head about this situation is there's not one single forward player who is thriving at Arsenal. Not one. All of them are struggling. And you have to ask yourself the question, why is that? Do you know what I mean? It's just mad. Anyway, James Dunlop says, with City winning earlier, Chelsea need to win this game against Leeds. Absolutely, they do, mate. That game, I was listening to bits of it while I was getting ready, and it sounded like it was a bit of a tense affair, similar thing happened last week when Wolves played Liverpool. Right, they were very stubborn and made it very difficult for City, but City eventually won the game. And a bit of madness from the Wolves striker, Jimenez, in getting 2 bookings within the space of a minute. Didn't help matters either. So there you go. And if you lose to Southampton, some of your fan base need to wake up and realise there hasn't been any progress at all. James, there has been no progress. None at all. If you look, people going on about how Arteta has fixed the defence. He has not fixed the defence. If you look at the stats that I put up in that review of the Arsenal Everton game. I did a longer video than normal for the Everton review because I wanted to go in on Mikel Arteta, and I wanted to put to bed a few of these myths that the Arteta brigade keep putting out about him, because he's a nonsense, right? One of them being that he's fixed the defence. He has not fixed the defence. If you look at the amount of shots that we conceded against Manchester City and the amount of shots on target that we conceded against Man City, and look at the same statistic in the game against Liverpool, it was almost identical. So how have we fixed the defence? The defence, I was watching Lee Gunner earlier, and he pointed out a very good fact when he said that this season we've conceded only 17 goals less than we did for the whole of last season, and we're only 15 games in. So we are on course to concede more goals than we did last season. So how have we improved the defence? We have not. It's a myth. Anything to try and bamboozle people and give people, fill people with nonsense. That's what that's all about. James Donlott says, I remember that game. Leno was at fault for that as well. I thought he should have used his common sense and built the ball up the field rather than passing it to Xhaka, where two players are on him. Absolutely, mate. I mean, it's an absolute calamity. An absolute calamity. But again, this goes back to the bloody tactics, doesn't it? I get the impression that he's such a disciplinarian that the players are absolutely shit scared not to use their own brain and do what they think is right. That they feel that they have to do everything to the letter that he says, and he can guarantee that he's drumming into them. You have to play out from the back. You have to play out from the back, and any sign of any dissent or anyone not doing what he wants them to do, I'm sure that he's stamping on it. And because I'd like to know why it is that Aubameyang's not playing today, for example. I know you said earlier it's for disciplinary reasons, but I'd like to know what those disciplinary reasons are. If it's because he's not following instructions, then that just proves my point. I mean, you have to get... I remember I was talking to one of my dad's mates the other day, and he's a massive, massive Celtic fan, and I was telling him about the way Arteta micromanages Arsenal, and he said, yeah, Warren, but he said he needs to understand that he has to give players room to do what they think needs to be done. He needs to let players try and encourage them to think for themselves and do something out of the blue, because otherwise you're never going to get anyone who's going to do something out of the unexpected or off the cuff. And then the team comes too predictable, and it's easier then to counteract what the team's trying to do, because if you've got no one in the team that you're playing against who you never know what they're going to do next, it becomes a massive problem, because you can't it just becomes too easy to counteract. James Dunlop says, I saw on Monday night from an opposition point of view, there isn't any progress in that Arsenal side at all. There ain't, mate. We're shambles. Absolute fucking shambles. And I'm sick of it. I really am sick of it. And I knew this would bloody happen. That's why I never wanted him in the first place. I knew that when we appointed him, because he had no experience, because he didn't know what he was doing, that he was going to behave like this, and that's what's happened. And then especially when he came in and he started going on about non-negotiables, and he seemed to have quite an aggressive attitude as a coach, I just thought, this is not going to end well. It's not, because you need to be a bit more diplomatic and a bit more how do I say it? You need to give people freedom to do things, and that's true for any business or any field of work that you go into. Because I don't know about anyone else, but I've managed staff before, and micromanaging people to that level, it just doesn't work. It doesn't. All you're going to do is just piss people off, right? And they're not going to perform for you. Whereas if you give them a little bit of freedom, they're going to try stuff, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, say to them, okay, well, we tried that and it didn't work. Maybe next time have a chat with me about it first and we can see what we can do. Because you want to encourage people and give them confidence, and well, he ain't doing any of that. He has not got a clue what he's doing. And I remember saying that when the lockdown was on, that they needed to put him on a management course. I'm not talking about football management. I'm talking about basic people management from a business point of view. Because he ain't got Danny. He has not got a bloody Danny at all, how to manage staff. He hasn't. It's embarrassing. It really is. Right. So, enough of me ranting. So, let's see. Oh, the games have kicked off already. So, let's go and see if there's anything happening. Games are 7 minutes in, and let's see what's happening. So something's happened. Chelsea 0, Leeds 0. Dominant start by Chelsea, and Ilian Messia is forced to kick clear an attempt by Reece James after he had got behind the Leeds defence. So, yeah, all the games are standing at 0-0 at present. So, we haven't missed anything due to my rant. So, and there's any other action that we missed. Liverpool, John McGinn tries to find Liverpool, Aston Villa. John McGinn tries to find Matt Target, but Trent Alexander-Arnold sniffs it out, and Sadio Mane then wins a corner at the other end. And 3:05, Arsenal 0, Southampton 0. No chances to talk of at the Emirates, but Arsenal picked up an early yellow. Gabriel on Armando Broca. There you go. And this comment here from the Wolves boss, Bruno Lage, who was interviewed by BBC Sport after the game earlier today. And he said, we came here to play in the beautiful stadium against one of the best teams in the world, and one of the best managers of all time. I prefer to talk about the first half. Our team came here to play our game. We knew they would have more time on the ball. We defended very well. The second half was different. We tried to do our best. I'm proud of our players and our fans because they supported us from the first minute. On Jimenez's red card, the first yellow card, he did not touch the guy, and it is in our half, and we had 10 men behind the ball. I don't believe in tactical fouls when you are in transition. The first yellow card is a crazy decision. For me, in my opinion, a hard decision to accept. On the penalty, he said, I believe in VAR and that it can help this game and the referee. The referee saw his arm, and the rules say he is trying to create a bigger body, but the ball touched here his armpit. But after the referee whistles, it's a VAR decision. Look, it's on to Brighton, and I want to boost the morale of the players because they gave everything. We move on. Okay, so there you go. That's what the Wolves manager said about the game. And Liverpool 0, Aston Villa 0. And apparently Anfield has broken out in song for Steven Gerrard, quickly followed again by a chant for Liverpool. Meanwhile, Matty Cash and Sadio Mane come together in the box. Liverpool players want a penalty, but a VAR check says no. Arsenal and Southampton. Southampton haven't had much joy on the road this season, but they've just gone close to Adam Armstrong, the forward forcing Aaron Ramsdale into a tidy save. Gunners haven't really got going. So there you go. Looks like we're already having a torrid time of it. So scores after 11 minutes are Arsenal 0, Southampton 0, Chelsea 0, Leeds 0, and Liverpool 0, Aston Villa 0. So James says, tell you a funny moment that happened on Monday. One fella who sat a couple of rows behind sung the Arteta chant when he was playing for us and shouted, thank you for helping us win. Laughing. Oh, mate. Oh, dear. No, I think that's really funny. I like that. Oh, dear. James Dunlop says, Chelsea and Arsenal to win 2-1 and Liverpool to win 1-0. I'm going for. Yeah, I can't remember what I said about the Chelsea game. I think it's going to be a tight game. I don't think they're going to run away with it. But having said that, knowing me, they'll probably win by 4 or 5-0. Arsenal, I think Arsenal will win 1-0. And I think Liverpool are going to win 3-1. Just because no one seems to be, well, Wolves said it last week, but at Anfield, they just seem to be rolling teams over week after week after week. It's just mad. It really is. And Phil McNulty from the BBC Sport, chief football writer at Anfield, saying Liverpool fans unite in song to salute Steven Gerrard. Aston Villa manager does not move a muscle. Quite right. This is not a testimonial for him. He wants 3 points after a fine start in charge at Villa Park. Yeah, he probably does want 3 points, but I don't think he's going to get it. There you go. And there's a yellow card at Anfield. Virgil van Dijk is in the book. Ollie Watkins tries to spin him on the byline, but the Liverpool centre-back has his arms around him. A chance to Villa to test Liverpool's defence on the set piece too. So yeah, yellow card there for Van Dijk, and then down to the Emirates, and Aaron Ramsdale is having much more work to do than his 40-year-old counterpart, Willie Caballero. This time, James Ward-Prowse test the keeper from a free kick. Was it going wide? Ramsdale was taking nothing for chance. Doesn't sound good, does it, for Arsenal? It sounds like they're struggling with Southampton, that's for sure. And then back up to Anfield, and Douglas Luiz goes for power on a free kick, and it's straight into the side netting. So Pep Guardiola, the Man City boss, has spoken to the BBC game after their game against Wolves earlier today, and he said, against 11 players we were better. It's not easy to play against them with 10. They defended really well. We suffered against them last season by not attacking in the right moments, and they punish you. But we were patient and we deserved to win. We played really good. It's not easy. They had 10 players in the box, 8 or 9 for crosses. It's difficult. And today, maybe we missed some chances. But despite of that, we won the game. On Raheem Sterling's 100th Premier League goal, big congratulations. He's still a young player, and 100 goals is a lot of goals. His contribution to this club is massive. He's back scoring goals. He has confidence. It's good. On Edison's 100th Premier League clean sheet, congratulations to him as well. We conceded late goals against West Ham and Watford, but finally he can achieve it. And that's why we have Eddie with his contributions in the right moment. A big save in the second half. We don't concede many chances, but what chance do they have? He's there. So, yeah, that's Pep's assessment of it all. And Stamford Bridge in a minute. But first of all, I'm going to read this chat from James. Southampton apparently have started well at the Emirates. Well, that's what it looks like, James, from what the BBC is saying. It looks like they're doing really well. I'm telling you, mate, if we lose this game, I know he's not going to get sacked. I've resigned myself to that. But if he loses this game, Jesus, it will be really bad. So down to Stamford Bridge, and having been forced on the back foot, Leeds have settled and carve out a decent chance through Rafinha, whose shot takes a deflection before Reece James makes a clearance. So, yeah, I mean, years ago, this Chelsea-Leeds game was a big, really intense game. There was always like really fiercely contested, and there was always a lot of flashpoints between the players, and that's not even talking about what happened between the supporters. But yeah, it was always very fiercely contested. So yeah, be interested to see what happens this afternoon between those two. And Pat Nevin is commenting on BBC Radio 5 Live. That was very disappointing from Douglas Luiz. They were in a great position there. You have every player up. You have to ask yourself, you have to ask questions of the defence. And Liverpool have gone close from one fullback to the other. Trent Alexander-Arnold's whip cross falls for Andy Robertson at the back post, but Emi Martinez reacts well to block it on the line. with his right hand. Matty Cash got a touch on it, which took away all the pace. So, yeah, there you go. Liverpool starting to get on top by the sounds of it, maybe. Arsenal and Southampton. A second yellow card for Arsenal as Bukayo Saka fouls Kyle Walker-Peters just outside the Gunners' box. James Ward-Prowse fancies this and is standing over the ball. Arsenal 1, Southampton 0. Arsenal scored. In it comes, decent effort, just wide apparently. But the Arsenal scored apparently. Let's see if we can see. Well, before we do any of that, we need to do something else. So there you go. Come on, you Gunners. Bloody hell. This is painful, man. I really didn't want to have to do a match day live with Arsenal bloody playing in the 3 o'clock kickoff. It's like, it's too painful for me. So let's see what happened. And Lacazette scored it after 21 minutes. So Arsenal have the lead at home to Southampton. And from what I've seen on here, on the BBC website, it looks like Southampton have been by far the better team. And it's saying Liverpool's pressing has been too hot for Villa to handle. Sadio Mane and Jordan Henderson combined to win it off. Marvellous Nakamba and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain drives with it, and his effort isn't too far over the bar. Nakamba gets a yellow for a late lunge on Henderson too. And then Ashley Young has a go from long range for Villa, and it's always rising. The cop jeers sarcastically at the former Man United fullback. Of course they will. Blimey. And Nakamba has his arms out to ask why he has got that yellow. I'll tell you why. That is the clearest yellow card that you will see in a month of Sundays, says Pat Nevin. So there you go. So let's just have a quick look at the Arsenal-Southampton match stats, because I'm curious. So the possession is 50% each. Look at that. Arsenal have had one shot and one shot on target. Southampton have had 5 shots, 3 on target. And Southampton have had 3 corners as opposed to Arsenal's 1. So there you go. And so far, it seems that Saka has been Arsenal's best player, according to these ratings on the BBC website, just in front of Ramsdale and Kieran Tierney, who are battling it out. So there you go. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Matty Cash's cross takes a deflection, and Joel Matip has to react to poke it away from 2 incoming attackers in the box. So we got some comments here in the comments. Let's go and check those out. James says, I reckon if you win today, Terry will appear again. Laugh out loud. Mate, I can see it happening, mate. I'm sure that we'll all get a bloody torrent of bloody messages telling us how we've got it wrong and whatnot. But time's running out for him. He said Christmas. Christmas is 2 weeks away, and wonder what his excuse is going to be come Christmas. Why, if he still continues to back him, which I'm sure he will. James says Lacazette scored the goal. James said against the runner player, according to Tim Sherwood on Soccer Saturday. There you go. And Tony Blackwell's here. Afternoon, Warren, he says. Afternoon, James. Afternoon, Tony, says James. Typical Arsenal struggling, and then out of the blue, they score. Yeah, it is. It's typical. Typical Arteta. Bang! And then there you go. They get a goal. And then just as Tony appears, Arsenal get a second goal. Oh my goodness gracious. What can I say? This is wild. Don't worry, Warren. Me and our indoors have an Arteta face to put on the Christmas turkey. Oh my God. Oh, I'd love to see that. I really would. Like the Christmas turkey going on the table, and then there's a picture of Arteta on it. Excellent. Oh, I love it. That's going to be hilarious. James Dunlop says Leeds 1-0 up and Odegaard scored the goal. Wow. So if Arsenal lose this game today, which is unlikely, he will be the first Arsenal player since 1977 to score in 3 consecutive league games and lose all of them. It's wild. And James Dunlop says, laugh out loud, Tony. And so the reason for that is because people of that. Chelsea 0, Leeds 1. Yes, come on the Leeds. Arsenal 2, Southampton 0. Chelsea 0, Leeds 1. And who scored the... Rafinha scored the penalty. If Leeds win that game, that'll be a massive victory for them. It really will. So Andy Robertson, he slipped in behind. He cuts inside of Matty Cash and is about to shoot before he goes down under contact from Marvellous Nakambi in the box. Liverpool want another penalty and VAR disagrees again. So what I'm trying to find is why the penalty was awarded to Leeds. But I can't find it. No, I can't. Anyway, Penalty for Leeds was scored by Rafinha. A stuttering run-up and he beats Edouard Mendy. Leeds travelling fans are going wild. Yeah, and I don't blame them because they're really struggling down the bottom of the table, and that 3 points will be absolutely massive. So let's go back to the chat. Tony Blackwell says, laugh out loud, that would be funny, Warren, if that happened. And as it stands, Arsenal go back up to 5th. Really? Do we go back up to 5th? Blimey. Terry will definitely be coming out the woodwork then if that happens, I'm sure. He'll have plenty to say. Oh, my goodness. If he's got time to. If he's got time to have anything to say, he'll probably be having a celebratory evening with Mikel in the hot tub, drinking champagne and eating strawberries dipped in chocolate and stuff like that. And someone on the BBC website says you can write the script for Southampton almost every week. Chance after chance, no goals, first chance for the opposition, first goal, starts to get depressing. Andy from Caution. There you go. Yeah, it must be really frustrating. It really must. Bless them. So, with just over half an hour gone, it's Arsenal 2, Southampton 0, Chelsea 0, Leeds 1, Liverpool 0, Aston Villa 0, and then earlier today it was Manchester City 1, Wolves 0, and let's look. The game last night, I think it ended in 2-1 win for Brentford against Watford. Yeah, Jansen and Wemo scored 2 very late goals for Brentford, and Dennis scored in the 24th minute. Yeah, I remember my alarm woke up. When my alarm goes off, it wakes me up with Talk Sport. And I remember hearing this guy saying that Brentford stole the 3 points from Watford after scoring 2 late goals, which I thought was a bit harsh. But there you go. And Tony Blackwell says West Ham need to win tomorrow to keep Arsenal from us. Who are you playing tomorrow, Tony? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah. So tomorrow, West Ham are away at Burnley. I think you'll win that, to be quite honest. Yeah, I can't see Burnley giving you too much trouble there, to be honest. Terry has upgraded, Warren. No longer hot tubs, it's now Roman baths. Oh my God. As long as he's not installing them, that's the only thing. I would probably take about 50 years to bloody get the thing installed. Burnley, Warren. Yeah. I mean, What do you think? Do you think you'll win that? Right. Okie doke. Let's get back on it. Yeah, when you see Terry, Tony, ask him if he's working on any more bathrooms. Laugh out loud for and look how long it took him to do his bathroom. Tell him when you see him, I had my bathroom renovated over the last 2 weeks. And it took 2 weeks for them to finish the work from start to finish. Oh dear. Tony Blackwell said, yeah, I think we should get a win at Burnley. I think you should as well. I think the way they get a lot of their wins is by bullying the opposition, but I don't think they'll be able to do that with West Ham. I think Moisey will have them really fully prepped for it, and they'll be roaring to go. Well, someone's got a yellow card. Someone has got a yellow card. James on Jane. A strong challenge by Reece James, which leaves his namesake Dan on the deck. The referee reaches for his pocket and shows the yellow. So there you go. Yellow card. Liverpool 0, Aston Villa 0 still. Virgil van Dijk plays a stunning diagonal pass over to Trent Alexander-Arnold after Liverpool win it back on the left. It switched back across the goal. It switched back across again before Sadio Mane wins another Liverpool corner. So, yeah, there you go, people. And Tony says, I just realised Terry was there to do the Renaissance, and look how long that took. Yes, exactly, mate. Oh, my God. Yeah, exactly. Oh, dear. Mind you, I just hope that Mikel Arteta isn't using him to help him get the Arsenal job sorted out, because we'll be waiting till bloody the turn of the next century before anything happens. So let's just check up on this. So still Arsenal 2, Southampton 0, Chelsea 0, Leeds United 1, and Liverpool 0, Aston Villa 0. Let's have a quick look at some of the other scores around the country. It's Ross County 1, Dundee 1 in Scotland. In the Championship, Coventry and Huddersfield Town drew 1-1 earlier today. Birmingham are winning 1-0 at home to Cardiff. Blackburn Rovers are 1-0 up away at Bournemouth. Hull City are 1-0 up over Bristol City. Luton Town are 1-0 up away at Luton. Peterborough United are 1-0 down at home to Millwall. And that's all the goals in the Championship. And Reading women beat the Chelsea women 1-0 in the Women's Super League. And in League One, Accrington Stanley are 1-0 up over Bolton Wanderers. Charlton Athletic are 1-0 up over Cambridge United. Cheltenham Town 1-0 up over Lincoln City. Crewe Alexander 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Doncaster Rovers 0, Shrewsbury Town 0. Fleetwood Town 1, Gillingham 0. Milton Keynes 1, Oxford United 0. Portsmouth 1, Morecambe 0. Rotherham United 1, Burton Albion 0. Sunderland 2, Plymouth Argyle 0. Wigan 1, Ipswich Town 0. Wycombe 0, AFC Wimbledon 1. And in League 2, Bradford and Sutton United are drawing 1-1. Bristol Rovers are 1-0 up at home to Rochdale. Exeter City are losing 1-0 at home to Tranmere Rovers. There you go, James. Tranmere Rovers are 1-0 up at Exeter. Harrogate Town are drawing 1-1 with Northampton Town. Crawley Town are 1-0 up with Leyton Orient. And Mansfield Town are drawing 1-1 with Salford City. Newport County are losing 1-0 at home to Port Vale. Oldham are losing 2-1 at home to Forest Green Rovers. And Walsall are 2-0 up at Colchester United. So there you go. That's all the scores in the Football League up and down the country. So let's go back to our 3 o'clock featured games. And goal. There's a goal, and it's Chelsea 1, Leeds 1. Let's see what happened there. And it's scored by Mason Mount. Scored by Mason Mount in the 42nd minute. So there you go. So it's Arsenal 2, Southampton 0, Chelsea 1, Leeds 1, and Liverpool 0, Aston Villa 0. So there you go. So let's see what's going on with the chat. James Dunlop says, Liverpool all over Villa, but can't find a way through. My mate is getting stressed out. Just texted me a minute ago in big capital letters saying, back of shite, laugh out loud. Bless him. Laugh out loud, James. Apparently a penalty shout went begging and not given. Yeah, I think Liverpool have had a couple of penalty shouts. According to the BBC, they've tried it a few times, but not really got anywhere. So long gone are the days of the Anfield penalty, I feel. I heard about that, Tony. VAR not having it at the moment. No, they're not, are they? They're not. They're not wanting to give them anything. Exactly, James. Who have Everton got? And Palace away tomorrow. That'd be an interesting game, I think. I think that's going to be really interesting because Palace have had a couple of poor results of late. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. And James Dunlop has definitely got his finger on the pulse there. Goal 1-1 Chelsea, Mount scored. Exactly, James. Right, here we go. And Tony Blackwell says that will be an interesting game, James. And should be, Tony, definitely. I think it will be as well. I think, like I said, Palace have not had a good run of results of late, and Everton are going to be really buoyed after their victory against Arsenal, especially after after coming behind and having 2 goals disallowed and still managing to get the victory. So they're going to be cock a hoop, as they say. Tony says, right, I've got to go, leaving work early to get the daughter. Hope to catch up with you soon, you both. Yeah, and you too, mate. Have a great rest of the day. Hope your family are all well. And I hope to catch up with you soon. Say hello to Terry for me and tell him that we're missing him, and we hope to see him online again soon. See you soon, Tony. If I don't get here, see you guys. Have a Merry Christmas and hope that 2022 can be better than this one. Yeah, that's absolutely. And the same to you. I hope you have a really nice Christmas if I don't see you before. And a very happy new year. Yeah, let's just hope next year's much, much better for all of us. James Dunlop says, you too, Tony. Hopefully 2022 will be much better year indeed. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Arsenal have been playing on their counter-attack all half, according to Tim Sherwood. Yeah. It's not good, is it? It really isn't. But they're winning. That's the most important thing. For me, anyway. I do feel for those Southampton fans because they must be thinking, this is just so unfair. This is so frustrating. But there you go. And James says, half-time, Chelsea won, Leeds won. So let's go and see what is happening. Let's have a look at the little league table. So that's a good idea. So Man City is still top, 3 points clear of Liverpool. Chelsea 4 points behind. And there, Chelsea are 7 points clear of West Ham in fourth. Arsenal, as James quite rightly pointed out, are currently up to fifth. If they continue to win this game. Tottenham have got 2 games in hand because their game this weekend has been called off because of the COVID outbreak. And James is saying Liverpool 0-0 at half time. Man City will be happy so far that both Chelsea and Liverpool are not winning. Yeah, they will be because both of them have failed to capitalise and keep up the pace with Man City. So City are going to be absolutely delighted with that. But this happened last week, though, didn't it? When Liverpool were at Wolves, and they just couldn't score, and then finally they got the winner in like added time. I think it was when Origi come off the bench. I wonder if he's going to come off the bench today and grab a winner. And that was something I meant to ask Tony about because I've heard speculation linking David Origi with a January move to West Ham. I was just wondering how he feels about that. Because he seems to always be coming off the bench and grabbing vital goals for Liverpool, doesn't he? So, so it's an interesting one because people were going on this clown on radio, Talk Crap Radio this morning, going on about how West Ham are going to falter and they're not as good as what people are making them out to be, and all the rest of it. And then there was a row broke out between the two presenters when he mentioned this. So I don't know. It seems a bit bizarre, really. I'm just going to have a bit of water. So, James, what do you think is going to happen in that Palace-Everton game tomorrow? Do you think you'll get the win? And do you think that game, the win against Arsenal, is going to prove to be a turning point for Everton? So someone's come onto the BBC website, half-time, Arsenal 2, Southampton 0. No Aubameyang, no bother. James Dunlop says, I've gone for a 1-1 draw for tomorrow. Part of me wouldn't be shocked if we lose because on the road we've been poor. Yeah. I mean, when I was putting together the show for the match day 16 preview, I was shocked about how far back it was since you last picked up any points. It was something like the middle of September or something when you beat Norwich at home, I think, before you beat us. Anyway, it was on the road. It was just mad. I was really, really surprised. James Dunlop says, I wouldn't be too unhappy with a point, but we need to pick up 3 points again to get us further away from danger. Yeah, you do, mate. You do need to pick up 3. But that Palace side, they got some good players. If you pick up 3 points down there, I think that the ball is definitely rolling. It really is. If you can go down there and get 3 points, it'll be a really, really good victory for you. Because like I say, I think they've got some good players. I'm not 100% convinced about Patrick Vieira as a coach. I'm just not sure he's got what it takes. I think maybe he should have done a couple more management jobs before he came into the Premier League. I just don't think that he's ready for it, to be honest. And I certainly wouldn't want him at Arsenal. Even though we won on Monday, most of the fans will never accept Rafa Benitez as the manager, and they will keep going, at the board. But what do you think about that, though, James? Do you think that the board are the main source of the problems, or do you think it's Rafa, or because I have to say, mate, if I was in control at Arsenal and I had the opportunity to get Rafa, I would bite people's hands off to get him. I really would, because I think he's quality. But that's just my opinion. I know it's a bit more difficult for Everton because of his connections with Liverpool and stuff like that, and it would be like us going for Pochettino, because I don't want Pochettino just purely not because of his links with Tottenham. I just don't see what he's got on his CV that suggests that he's going to be a success. Because as far as I can see, I don't think he's ever really won any trophies as a manager. Yeah, he got Tottenham to the Champions League final and stuff like that. And what else? Do you know what I mean? The board are the real problem, 100%. Moshiri signed a death wish, bringing Rafa in as manager. I don't blame Benitez, by the way, taking the job because he lives in the city. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, he has got a good track record as a manager. That's the thing. It's not like Pochettino. He has got a good track record. He won trophies at Valencia when he was there in Spain. He did well at Liverpool when he was there, except albeit he never won the Premier League title. But he also went to Chelsea and did well till they hounded him out, which started, by the way, almost the day he got the job. And then look at what he did at Newcastle, keeping them in the Premier League the way he did. There was nothing short of miraculous. That's why I really rate him, not because of all the trophies he's won, although that does help, but the way that he handled that Newcastle job, for me, was class, absolute class. James Dunlop says the unrest of the fan base was always going to be the main concern. And James Dunlop says if someone like Mourinho, Simeone, or Guardiola managed Everton, nothing will change because of the incompetent decision the club makes when it comes to signings and the rest. See, that's what I think about Arsenal to an extent as well. I think that, we can go and get an elite manager and it would improve us a little bit. But until such time as all these other clowns are rooted out as well, the likes of Vinay, the likes of Edu, Big Dick, and the owners, I just can't see how anything's going to improve, because those people have got too much power. And look at the recruitment at Arsenal. It's been shocking. We spent £150 million in the summer, right? And we haven't improved. I just can't believe that you can spend that amount of money and not improve. It's just ridiculous. And I would even argue that we've gone backwards. We've gone backwards after spending £150 million. It's madness. So, yeah, there you go. And here we go. Someone talking about Arsenal's opening goal. And they're saying, I've just seen a replay of Arsenal's opening goal. It's a move made on the training ground and executed on the Premier League stage. 16 passes in total. Sumptuous. Well, there you go. And another person says, it's early days, but Gerrard is showing promises of a decent Premier League manager with good tactics and composure. There you go. Oops. Someone else is saying Chelsea's B team just not good enough. I find the early season excitement watching matches has been replaced by nerves. I just don't have confidence that they will get the points, regardless of the opposition. Need a big overhaul in the next couple of windows. Blimey. So that person's not happy. Um, I wonder how prevalent that feeling is amongst the rest of the Chelsea support. So let's just quickly go through the halftime scores. It's Arsenal 2, Southampton 0, Chelsea 1, Leeds 1, and Liverpool 0, Aston Villa 0. So, and then got a 5:30 kickoff, Norwich against Manchester United. Massive game for both of them. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top in that one. But yeah, big game for both of them, really is. And James Dunlop says we always ask the questions of what the board's intentions going forward with any of our clubs. Yeah, I'm not sold about the intentions of the Arsenal board. I'm really not, because I'm just not convinced that they know what they're doing. I mean, what for me summed it up was their story. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I've got no reason to think it's not. The Vinay got duped into signing a partnership deal with a company that didn't exist. I mean, I just find that staggering. I really do. I mean, yeah, I know any of us can get duped. I mean, beginning of the year, I got scammed on my bank account. Thankfully, I spotted it quickly enough and managed to stop it before any damage was done. But there you go. And Alan Attics here. Hi, Alan. How are you? Nice to see you, mate. Big up, Warren. Arteta out. Exactly, mate. Get him out. Right out. Arsenal 2-0 up at half-time. Goals from Lacazette and Martin Odegaard. So that's good news. That's good to see. It's very pleasing. So Lacazette in the 21st minute and Odegaard in the 27th minute. The goals were assisted by Bukayo Saka and Kieran Tierney. So yeah, that's great news. Great news. So are you at the game, Alan, or are you watching on TV, or what's the story, mate? How are you today anyway? James Dunlop says, my mate is at Anfield and his first time report is load of shite, laugh out loud. Yeah, I'll ask him if he can give us a little 2 or 3 line summary about what he thought about the first half. James, if he can do that, that would be wild. Norwich Man United later today. I think United will be too strong today. I'm jealous that they've got Ranić. Me too, mate. I think they're going to do well with him. I'm not really sure why they think they need to go and get another manager unless he doesn't want to take the job full time. I don't get that, but still, there you go. I think United will be too strong as well. I think they're going to win it They're just slightly going to edge out Norwich 2-1. I mean, the thing is, I have to say, I do really rate Dean Smith. I think he's a really good coach. And I do think that he's going to get him out of trouble. And even if they don't, I think he'll be a good appointment for the Championship because he's got the experience of bringing Aston Villa out of the Championship, I believe, hasn't he? So, yeah, so it's now 4:05. Let's see if there's any further news or updates. The game's kicked off. It's still Arsenal 2, Southampton 0, Chelsea 1, Leeds 1, Liverpool 0, Aston Villa 0, and Liverpool 0, Aston Villa 0. Silky stuff from Mo Salah. He turns sharply to beat one player, then goes down the same to go around that target. His cross won't come for Sadio Mane in the box though. So yeah, things are moving. And James says Norwich may. Oh, yeah. We talked about that. If Norwich go down, which is likely, I'd stick with Dean Smith 100%. He's a decent manager. Me too, mate. I think he's quality, and like I said, he was Villa manager, wasn't he? When they were in the Championship, and he brought them up out of the Championship, I believe. So he's got that experience. So it makes you wonder whether Delia has appointed him in case they do get relegated, because he's got the experience of bringing a side out of the Championship, and he knows what needs to be done in order for that to happen. But I do really rate him. I think he's top draw manager. And the other good manager that I really like and rate is the ex-Sheffield United manager, the one that got the tin tack. What was his name? He brought them up like from League One, I think, and he ended up getting them relegated out of the Premier League after doing really well in his first season in the Premier League. And another report from Anfield, Thiago is fouled just outside the Liverpool box, and they tried to take it quickly with Mo Salah and Sadio Mane in space up front. The referee isn't ready though, and it's brought back to the edge of the box, which frustrates the home crowd. So there you go. And score's still the same, folks. Nothing's really changed. So, are you going to any Everton games in the near future, James? And how do you feel about Everton moving forward? Do you think after this win against Arsenal that you're going to kick on, or do you think it could still be a bit tricky for Everton? Because what I saw in that game is I saw the players looking really like motivated and pumped up and wanting to fight for the badge. So I don't think it's a question of them not having belief or desire or or stuff like that. I just think that some of the players, they, like I said to you earlier in the season, I think there's a lack of quality backups for that team. And I think part of that is what's caused the problem. And that has to fall on the recruitment. The people at Everton on the board have been responsible for the recruitment of new players. So it's just an update coming from Pat Nevin. Liverpool either need the players to get the fans going, or the fans need to get the players going. So it sounds like it's a bit dead at Anfield at the moment. But things hopefully will start improving, because the last thing we need is another bloody snooze fest like we had last week, because that was awful. So let's look at the match stats for some of these games. And the Arsenal Southampton game, Arsenal had 58 possession to Southampton's 48. Arsenal had 5 shots, 3 of which have been on target. Southampton have had 6 shots, 3 on target. Arsenal have had 4 corners, and Southampton have had 5. And according to the BBC website, it looks like Kieran Tierney has been Arsenal's best player so far. And for Southampton, it looks like Brocker has been Southampton's best player so far, which doesn't surprise me, because, like I said earlier, I think he's a bit of a handful, to be quite honest. He looks big and powerful, so it doesn't surprise me in the least. And a report coming in from Stamford Bridge, someone is asking the question as to whether it's too soon to bring on Romelu Lukaku. Chelsea need to win this. Otherwise, there will be at least 4 points behind leaders Manchester City. The players are on their way back out at Stamford Bridge. And someone said, it's feeling like a derby game. It's feeling like a derby game or derby coaches battle. Temper over the top, challenges and tackles here and there. 2 managers, Klopp v Gerrard, who don't draw back and like to win. Nice game to watch for the neutrals. There you go. And there's a VAR penalty check for Chelsea. And it's a penalty for Chelsea. It's a penalty for Chelsea. This happened because Rafinha, who scored from the spot, slides into Antonio Rudiger, and Chelsea won a penalty. The referee has been told to go and check it on the monitor. So that's what he's done, and the result was that Chelsea have been awarded a penalty. So let's see what happens. And there it is, people. It's a goal! It's Chelsea 2, Leeds 1, and Chelsea have the lead in this tight battle between the two big old rivals from the 1970s, Jack Charlton and David Webb and all that. And let's see what if they've updated. And they've updated their scores. Yeah, they have. And Jorginho scores the penalty in the 58th minute. Makes it Chelsea 2, Leeds United 1. Steven Gerrard makes the first move. Morgan Sanson is on for Villa. Marvelous Nakambi is off. What a top name, Marvelous Nakamba. I love it. And Diogo Jota is being prepared by Jurgen Klopp. We've seen a brilliant, and Liverpool are knocking on the door. We've seen a brilliant save from Emilio Martinez. Virgil van Dijk with a free header as the corner came in. He got a lot of pace on it, but Martinez got his palms to it, but was able to tip it over. Liverpool been knocking on the door. There are boos from the crowd. There are boos from the crows for how long Villa are taking to take set pieces. What is this woman going on about? What bloody crows? Since when have crows been allowed in Anfield? She obviously means the crowd. Crows? What are you on about, woman? Liverpool been knocking on the door. There are boos from the crowd for how long have been Villa are taking to take set pieces. Liverpool 0, Aston Villa 0. Oh, hello. And Diogo Jota, Alex has come on, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has gone off. And now the front three is more familiar. So I'm sure the Liverpool fans will be happy with that. And Liverpool go close, just inches wide. Sadio Mane has been electric since the break. He gets to the byline again and tees up Mo Salah on the edge of the box. He takes a touch and then takes a touch, then curls it towards the top left. It's not too far off. Gabriel at Arsenal. Gabriel has the ball in the back of the net, back of the Southampton net after a corner, but it's not going to count. It was offside. So there we go. James Donlott says Chelsea penalty. Jorginho scored 2-1. Chelsea move up to second and Liverpool drop to third as it stands. Absolutely spot on, mate. Both Leeds and Southampton are losing. Helps us because they are below us in the table. So there you go, mate. It's looking good for Everton, isn't it? So James Donlott says Arsenal 3-0. Gabriel scored, game over. Yeah, it's been disallowed for offside, mate, unfortunately. Pat Nevin says this change was probably planned long before the game. You accept that Villa are a hard side to break down, and you want someone on the bench that can lift not only the team but also the fans. And here we go. And there's been another goal. Let's see what's happened. Where's this goal come from? And it's now Arsenal 3, Southampton 0. Maybe I was jumping the gun there, James. Maybe. Sorry, mate. Seems that you were right. I'm ahead of you at the moment, Warren. It's 3-0 now. Yeah. James, what minute you in? Oh dear. Yeah, so Gabriel has scored, and James is quite right when he says it's game over. And let's look at the table. So Man City are top 38, Chelsea are second with 36, and Liverpool are in third on 35. However, if Liverpool score, it could all change. Liverpool could end up going top. Arsenal are up to fifth, and they'll be 1 point behind. West Ham in fourth. And their goal difference will be down to -1, I believe. Laugh out loud, Warren. Penalty for Liverpool. Oh my God, let's go. Let's go, people. We need to check this out. Penalty for Liverpool. Is this the chance? Come on, how long are they going to take this bloody penalty? Come on, guys. Stop messing about. And Pat Nevin says 1-on-1 with Mo Salah in the penalty box. There's only going to be one winner there. Well, yeah. 10 points for pointing out the obvious, Pat. 1-0, Salah scored, no surprise. There you go. Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. There you go. And it hits the woodwork. Arsenal are rampant. God, it's a long time since I've heard that. Arsenal are rampant. Gabriel Martinelli is outside the box when he strikes the bar with the curler before Takehiro Tomiyasu is denied by a fine Willie Cabby save. That's what I'm calling him. No, Willie Caballero save. So Arsenal nearly went 4-0 up. My God, they're getting a bit carried away at the Emirates by the sounds of it. So there you go. It's currently Arsenal 3, Southampton 0, Chelsea 2, Leeds United 1, and Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. And there is 23 minutes left to play. Let's look at the league table now. Yeah, Liverpool should have moved up, really, into top position. I don't think they've updated it yet. But anyway, let's go back to the live reporting. Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. And that's 21 goals in 22 games in all competitions for Mo Salah this season. That is mad, isn't it? Mo Salah, right? He has scored more goals than the entire Arsenal team. That's insane. No, actually, sorry. He scored the same amount of goals. That's bonkers, though. One player can score the same amount of goals. That's just ridiculous. Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. Pat Nevin is at it again. The keeper goes the right way. He moves quickly. However, if you hit it with that level of power into the corner, the side netting, it's an absolute brilliant penalty. There you go. So there's 23 minutes left to play. And Villa have made a substitution. Ashley Young is off, and Emi Buendia comes on for Aston Villa. Stephen Warnock says Martinez was close, but the sheer pace of the penalty was too much. It's brilliant from Mo Salah. There you go. There you go. And then the famous Warren alarm clock kicks off again, regular as clockwork. And let's go back to the chat. And James Dunlop says, crazy game in League 2. It's currently Oldham Athletic 4, Forest Green 5. Unbelievable, Warren. Oh my God. Let's go and check that out in a minute. And Salah finished 7th in the Ballon d'Or. I don't understand. I understand why Liverpool fans are living with that. Yeah, I do to a degree as well. I mean, makes you wonder really what he would need to do to get to win it, doesn't it? But let's go and check out that game in League One, see what's going on down there. So right, here it is. Oldham Athletic 4, Forest Green Rovers 5. And Oldham have had 48% possession. They've had 12 shots. 7 of them have been on target, and they've had 4 corners. And Forest Green Rovers have had 14 shots, 9 on target, and 4 corners. Wow. It's a bit of a madness, isn't it, really? It's just goals going in left, right, and centre. So let's have a look at this, right? Claude has scored 2 in the 11th and 59th minute. Hope has got 1 in the 55th minute, and Stobbs got 1 in the 65th minute for Oldham. The game was 3-1 to Forest Green at half time. And Oldham looks like they've staged something of a bit of a comeback. It's now 4-5 to Forest Green Rovers. Aitchison scored in the 13th minute for Forest Green. And then Matt scored 2 in the 27th and 44th minutes. And then Stevens scored a further 2 goals for Forest Green in the 48th minute and the 63rd minute. Yeah, now, years ago, I went to Forest Green Rovers, and I went there with my mate and watched them play Tunbridge Angels, and it was like a very physically bruising encounter. We had this really pacey, tricky winger come striker, and he went down under a challenge in the opposition penalty area, didn't get awarded a penalty, and then the Forest Green Rovers players decided to give him a bit of a kicking while he was laying on the ground, and we were stood just behind the goal where it's happening, and I nearly run on the bloody pitch to try and stop it, but the referee come over and like pulled them off him. They didn't get reprimanded in any way, not a yellow card, nothing. It was shocking. So yeah, there you go. That is the Oldham Athletic Forest Green Rovers game. So there's a bit of a madness going on there, to be honest. It's still Arsenal 3, Southampton 0, 15 minutes to go. And Chelsea 2, Leeds United 1, and Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. And James Dunlop says Arsenal doing the job today, but to be completely honest, it's a game you should be winning. Obviously, you can't underestimate any opposition. 100%, mate, lad. But this was what was happening at the beginning of the season after we lost those 3 games. We played a string of games against opposition that with all due respect to the teams that we played, we should have been winning those games, and 90% of the times that's exactly what happened. But come up against a decent side, where it's going to be a struggle, or you'd expect Arsenal to get beat, and that's exactly what happens. They get found out, and which again proves to me what we were saying earlier, that we haven't improved at all, not one bit. And James comes with another chat. Man United have Phil Jones on the bench. He's alive. Someone's found him. He's been found. He's alive and well. And he's going to be on the bench this afternoon. There you go. So let's have a look at the lineups for that game. That's a good idea. Thanks for that, James. So the Norwich City lineup, they're going with a 5-3-2. Tim Krul's going to be in goal. Their back five is Max Aarons, Kabak, Hartley, Giannollis, and Placheta. And then in the midfield three is Rupp, Gilmore, and McLean. Then up front, they've gone with Sargent and Pookie. And their bench is Brian, Dow, Cantwell, Sorensen, Lees Malloy, Mumba, Gunn, Idiar, and Tompkinson. And then United are going with a 4-2-2, a 4-2-2-2. They've got De Gea in goal, Dalot, Lindelof, Maguire, and Telles. And then the midfield is, McTominay and Fred, Fernandes and Sancho, and then Cristiano Ronaldo and Rashford. And their bench is Bailey, Jones, Greenwood, Lingard, Heaton, Shaw, Henderson, Van der Beek, and Elanga. Now, Lingard, that's another interesting player, because he's another one that I've seen being linked to going to West Ham. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting game later at Carrow Road. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that one. And it looks like Consa's back pass to Emilio Martinez is way too short, and Diego Jota almost gets there in time to poke Liverpool's second in. So it looks like Villa got away with one there. And probably the best attack Villa have had this half. It's lifted through to Matty Cash, but Andy Robertson is tight to him and gets a foot in before the cutback comes in from the right. Chelsea 2, Leeds 1. Fair play to Leeds, who have had 65.3 possession over the last 15 minutes, but they have not been able to do anything with it. Another of Chelsea attacks ends with Thiago Silva prodding a chance narrowly wide. Nervy Villa have found some confidence. Ollie Watkins flashes it across the 6-yard area, and Andy Robertson drives it in to deflect it away from Matty Cash at the far post. So there you go. It's like things are hotting up a bit at Anfield. And Chris Wise reporting for final score at Stamford Bridge. This is a great game. Since they went behind, Leeds have undoubtedly had their best spell of the game. They've been the better side. They've moved the ball around quickly and with purpose. Chelsea not home and hosed and hosed by any stretch of the imagination. You sense they may need another goal. And it's a goal. There's a goal at Stamford Bridge, and it's gone to Leeds. It's Chelsea 2, Leeds United 2, and it's Oldham 5, Forest Green Rovers 5. Oh my God. What a day. What drama. It never ends on the Warren's Team Talk channel. Free scoring, never boring. The Warren's Team Talk channel brings it to you all. It's madness. Free scoring, never boring. Warren's Team Talk. Jesus. So yeah, Chelsea Leeds is 2-2. Forest Oldham 5, Forest Green 5. See, you got the Leeds goal. And it was scored by Gelhardt in the 83rd minute for Leeds and assisted by Roberts. So, yeah, Chelsea drawing 2-2 at home with Leeds. And then let's see what's going on in that game in League Two between Forest Green and Oldham, because that is a madness. It really is an absolute madness. So here we go. League Two. Here it is. Oldham Athletic 5, Forest Green Rovers 5. So there you go. In the 78th minute, Wilson scores an own goal to give Oldham Athletic back on level terms. Jesus, what an unbelievable turn of events. So yeah, there he is. Look, there's the poor unfortunate fella who scored the own goal. The player who's playing on the right-hand side of Forest Green Rovers' midfield is the one that scored the own goal to bring Oldham level with Forest Green. So, yeah, unbelievable scenes there down at Oldham. I was just about to say Boundary Park, but I don't think they're playing there anymore. Let's go back and see what's going on in the Premier League. So it's Arsenal 3, Southampton 0, Chelsea 2, Leeds United 2, and Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. So let's go back to the chat. And James Dunlop says, who needs the Premier League? The lower leagues are more entertaining. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I think moving forward, I'm going to include more of these lower league games as well. in this thing because they certainly are more entertaining. Leeds are level 2-2, says James. This is the man who's got his finger on the pulse. Mr. James Dunlop, the man we all got, the man who should be gone to find out what is going on. He knows what's happening. Chelsea collapsed at the back again, and James Dunlop says Chelsea's title hopes are fading away at the moment. Yeah, and I just had a thought. I wonder what odds you get on Tommy Tickle getting the sack before Mikel Arteta. I reckon they'd be pretty. I think they would be. I think they'd be pretty generous. Well, not generous, but I think the chances are he will definitely be sacked before Arteta will. That's for sure. I'm just wondering, how long do you think he's got? Because you know what Chelsea are like. I reckon by Easter, if they've fallen right off the title chase and they crashed out of Europe, they'll pull the trigger on him. If not before, even. So 3 minutes to go. It's Arsenal 3, Southampton 0. It's Chelsea 2, Leeds United 2, Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. And to me, it looks like Mikel Arteta is doing his Ole Gunnar Solskjaer impression. Anytime the heat goes on him, he pulls out a result. This is what Ollie used to do, time and time again. And it kept him in a job for months and months and months and months. Chelsea's problem is that no top-name manager is available. They would have to approach some managers who are in a job currently. Mate, I don't think that would stop them. But I tell you what, I bet you one manager they will not approach will be Mikel Arteta, that's for sure. They certainly won't approach him. And I bet you they won't approach Rafa either, because the Chelsea fans just wouldn't have it. They wouldn't. Yeah, so because they don't like him at Chelsea. I remember when he was appointed at Chelsea, when he took on the job on an interim basis at Chelsea, he was getting handed out from day one. They were like Chelsea fans went to the game and they had like banners up saying they wanted him out and stuff like that. Chelsea penalty. Oh my God, here we go. Let's go back and see what's going on at the bridge. Penalty to Chelsea. And here we go. 5 minutes stoppages. Will there be a late winner? Leeds have to shut up shop. They're pushing forward. And there is a penalty. Full of drama at Stamford Bridge, says James Dunlop. It certainly sounds like it, mate. VAR checking it. Penalty has been given. Oh my goodness. There you go. Jorginho scores. Chelsea 3-2 up. Huge goal. James, that's 100% certain. Absolutely. It's an absolutely massive goal in the context of things. And there's a huge roar at Anfield. What's going on there? What's going on, I hear you say. Huge roar at Anfield as Jordan Henderson comes crunching in to stop a Villa break. They want the full-time whistle to go now. That's a penalty, says Stephen Warnock. And BBC just confirming that Chelsea have scored a penalty. Yeah, never mind. You're about 10 minutes late, BBC, but never mind. Gee whiz. There you go. Allison has got away with one. 100%. It ricochets off him as it falls. He spins in the circle, pats at the ball, and saves takes Danny Ings' legs away. That's a penalty, says Stephen Warnock. So there's an update coming in on the BBC. The game's gone crazy. Gone crazy, says Farah Williams. Is she the one that was going on about the crows at Anfield? It's not just that. It's not a pen. If that's a penalty, the game's gone crazy. The game's gone, hasn't it? There's minimal contact. Yeah, it must have been all them crows in the crowd. All those crows in the crowd that caused the referee to want to give a penalty. Andrew says that's beyond soft. 2 title contenders getting the benefit of incredibly generous penalty awards today. Full time, Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0, and full time, Arsenal 3, Southampton 0, says James Dunlop. There you go, people. And Arteta's back, according to some people. Oh, God, we're going to go through all this nonsense again. Jesus Christ. They're going to be out in full force, aren't they? Jesus Christ. When are these people ever going to learn? No. Jesus Christ. When are these people going to fucking wake up and realise that he's not the man? It's a bloody joke. Honestly, these clowns, I just find it difficult to comprehend. There'll all be all these ones that were going, yeah, he needs to go. That's it. I'm done. That's it. I'm finished. They're going to be going, oh, yes, well, he's had a great result today. I think I was overreacting and I need to get on board and get behind him. We need to get behind the team and the players and the manager. All that crap. Full time, Chelsea 3, Leeds United 2, and James saying it's kicking off at Stamford Bridge between both sets of players. Yes, just like in the 1970s, this always used to happen between Leeds and Chelsea. So it was all Leeds and Chelsea, it was always kicking off. Always. There always was some drama when these two used to meet. The BBC say, so comfortable for Arsenal. They're back in the winning groove. Dear me. Just what Leeds didn't want. Romelu Lukaku has come on. They're about 3 minutes behind. What the hell's going on? But they're all finished. Look, there you see Arsenal 3, Southampton 0, Chelsea 3, Leeds United 2, Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. Let's look at the other scores up and down the country, and in particular that game down at Oldham. See how that finished up. So let's get the final results roundup. So in the Scottish Premiership, it ended Dundee United 0, Livingston 1, Ross County 3, Dundee 2, St Johnstone 0, Aberdeen 1, and St Mirren 1, Hibernian 1. In the Championship, it was Huddersfield Town 1, Coventry City 1, Birmingham City 2, Coventry City 2, AFC Bournemouth 0, Blackburn Rovers 2. Now they're saying that those games haven't finished, so I don't know. That's the latest score. Derby County 1, Blackpool 0, and that's the latest score. Hull City 2, Bristol City 2, Luton Town 1, Fulham 1, Peterborough United 2, Millwall 1, latest score. Preston North End 2, Barnsley 1, latest score. Stoke City 0, Middlesbrough 0. Swansea 1, Nottingham Forest 4. And West Bromwich Albion 0, West Bromwich Albion 1, Reading 0. And the Women's Super League, it ended Reading Women 1, Chelsea Women 0. And all those games have now finished in the Championship, and the scores were as I read out. In League 1, Accrington Stanley 1, Bolton Wanderers 0. Charlton Athletic 2, Cambridge United 0. Cheltenham Town 2, Lincoln City 2. And the game between Charlton Athletic and Cambridge United is still playing, so that is the latest score. And currently it's Crewe Alexandra 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. And final scores, Doncaster Rovers 1, Shrewsbury Town 0, Fleetwood Town 2, Gillingham 1, Milton Keynes 1, Oxford United 2, Portsmouth 2, Morecambe 0, Rotherham United 3, Burton Albion 1, Sunderland 2, Plymouth Argyle 1, Wigan Athletic 1, Ipswich Town 1, Wycombe Wanderers 2, AFC Wimbledon 2, Barrow 2, Swindon Town 0, Bradford City 2, Sutton United 2, Bristol Rovers 4, Rochdale 2, Exeter City 0, Tranmere Rovers 1. There you go, James. Tranmere 1 today on the road at Exeter. Harrogate Town 1, Northampton Town 2. Hartlepool United 0, Scunthorpe United 0, Leyton Orient 1, Crawley Town 2, Mansfield Town 2, Salford City 1, Newport County 2, Port Vale 1, and it ended Oldham 5, Forest Green Rovers 8. No, I'm only joking. It ended Oldham Athletic 5, Forest Green Rovers 5, Stevenage 0, Carlisle United 2, and finally Walsall 3, Colchester United 0. So there you go. That's all the scores from the Football League. Getting you up to date there. James Dunlop says Leeds players moaning that the penalty given wasn't a penalty. And Oldham, James is also reporting Oldham 5, Forest Green Rovers 5. What a game. Yeah, that is mad, isn't it? James Dunlop says, cheers, Warren. Great stream. Take care, mate. Good win for the Arsenal. Yeah, it was a good win. Much needed win. So hopefully we can kick on now. I doubt it, but let's hope so. Just for the club's sake. Not because I want Mikel Arteta in the job, but just because it's going to be good for the players, I guess. And some of our mad-ass supporters. Anyway, James, thank you very much for joining me today in the stream. And also, I want to thank Tony Blackwell and where's that other lad that was here for a little while? Where is he? I can't find him. Oh, there he is. Alex Attic. Yeah, so big up all of you. Thanks very much for joining me today. And thank you to anyone who's watched this on playback. I hope you've enjoyed it. There'll be another one next Saturday. Also, I just want to check something because I have a feeling that there are games during the week as well. So I just want to check that. I'm just checking something, people. I won't be a second. Yeah. There's games on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the Premier League, which means then the next match day, I'm not going to have time to do a preview and review for match day 17 of the FA Premier League, but I will be back to do another match day live this Saturday coming, where there will be 4 games kicking off at 3 o'clock unless something changes, such as COVID or something like that. Those games will be Aston Villa against Burnley, Southampton against Brentford. Southampton against Brentford, Watford against Crystal Palace, and West Ham United against Norwich City. Anyway, guys, Norwich are going to be kicking off in about another 25 minutes, playing at home against Norwich City. So thanks very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show this afternoon. I hope that you're all well. Before you go, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please remember to do so. Please click on the like button and don't forget to share the content around. That would be really, really helpful, and I'd be really grateful for that. And please take care of each other. Please remember to keep talking, and please share some love and kindness around the world. And have a great rest of your day, whatever you're doing. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time. So thanks everyone, and I look forward to seeing you all really, really soon. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Take care for now. Bye.